And we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome here to the Nnscra Hot Stove Talk Show. Please ignore the fact that I utterly failed on the naming of this stream. I put the wrong date in. I'll have to fix that when I get a chance. I don't know if I can actually fix that right now or not. I don't think I can. I'll have to wait until it's over. Oh, no, I can change it. Hang on. I think I could change it. There we go. And save changes. I don't know if I can do it while it's live or not. Okay, now let me go back and see if it changed the title of it. It did. Okay, so if you refresh your page, it's changed to the correct date. Oh, no, it's not. What? It showed up correctly just a moment ago. Okay, that's weird. Yeah, it shows up correctly, and then it... Oh, there we go. Okay, now it's fixed. All right, so... I don't know how long this one's going to be. I don't know how long I'm going to have, so just be aware of that. If you want to join the show, I'm more than willing to have guests on the stream here today. So, yep, and also you can be active in the chat. I'll be keeping tabs on the chat and everything too. If you want to join the live stream, let me know, and I will, shoot you an invite and everything. Usually do that via Facebook. Okay, so there's not a whole heck of a lot of top stories to get to here today, so I'll get to the top stories, and then after that, I will show you guys basically what's been done on the schedule, and then after that, probably touch on some interesting stuff heading into next season. So first off, in terms of stories that are going on, of course, the big one, I only announced this on Facebook, but I will announce it now as well. James Richardson was the last driver that I needed to know if he was going to be returned to the Hershey's Cup Series or not. He was the only other charter driver. The reason being, I can then start figuring out what the field's going to look like for next season, finish up the paint schemes, etc. I think I've got about maybe 85% of the cars for next year already for Hershey's Cup. Not for trucks and not for Pizza Hut, but for Hershey's. So I needed to know if Richardson was going to be returning. A second reason why I needed to know is because I had looked back at his previous comments. His last comment was about a month ago. And so it kind of looked like I think his last comment as well was on the second Daytona race. So it wasn't look like he was keeping up with the races, keeping up with the channel anymore. And so I wanted to make sure, is he keeping up with the channel? So I messaged him, told him, are you still keeping with the channel and everything? And I figured I would give him about, I think it was 5 days. Well, I ended up actually forgetting about it. I gave him another 24 hours, didn't look until Sunday morning. I was going to look on Saturday morning, and on Sunday morning there was nothing. So I decided that as a result of the fact he's obviously not keeping up with the channel, he's lost his charter. And so the 11 teams charter is now going to go to the 83 team, Chris Dollarton and CJ Racing. So we now have the field of who's going to be where for next season as a chartered ride for the Hershey's Cup Series. That's going to be Trent Dunham in the 1 for Sega Motorsports, Dylan Young in the 2 for Young Motorsports, Holly Davis in the 3 for Michael Norman Motorsports. She's one of 4 confirmed rookies. Daniel Gilbert in the 4 for Michael Norman Motorsports. Johnny Gardner in the 7 for Fitzwater Australia Racing. Chris Dodd in the 8 for CJ Racing. Cody Smart in the 12 for Young Motorsports. Dallas McIntosh in the 14 for Sega Motorsports. Tim Walsh in the 15 for CJ Racing. Cole Baker in the 18 for Fitzwater Australia Racing. Emmanuel Hartnett in the 20 for Fire Ice Racing. Joseph Swigley in the 21 for Swigley Racing. JT Bryant, the 22 for Young Motorsports. Brandon Gonzalez in the 23 for Gonzalez Motorsports. Benny Watson in the 24 for Flying Aces Racing. Benjamin Miles in the 25 for ML Motorsports. Daniel Voiles in the 26 for World NOS Racing. Joshua Osborne, another rookie, in the 27 for Jan Atwood Motorsports. Kyle Keith in the 29 for William Brock Motorsports. Dylan Pote in the 31 for Twinix Racing. 38, Jake Baskinger for Flying Aces Racing. Keith Batson, the 39 for KB Racing Enterprises. Sean Galligan, the 44 for Kyotech Racing. Cody Lamas in the 48 for ML Motorsports. James McLeod in the 51 for Tweenix Racing. Shane Lake in the 55 for Dog Pound Incorporated. Zachary Fitzwater in the 59 for Fitzwater Australia Racing. Scott Roush, another rookie, in the 60 for Kev Shearer Racing Tech, rather. Anthony McCurry in the 61 for Kyotech Racing. John Zidadino in the 72 for Kyotech Racing. Jordan Lopez, the fourth and final rookie, in the 79 for Kev Shearer Racing Tech. Kev Shearer in the 80 for CJ Racing. Chris Dodds in the 83 for CJ Racing. Jordan Anderson in the 89 for Fitzwater Australia Racing. RJ Reynolds in the 97 for Kev Shearer Racing Tech. Seth Cole in the 98 for Tweenix Racing. Levi McIntyre in the 99 for Young Motorsports. Jessica Schultz in the 02 for Retro Racing Enterprises. Charles Samper in the 03 for Retro Racing Enterprises. John Art in the 05 for Flying Aces Racing. Dougie Shears in the 07 for Michael Norman Motorsports. And Kyle Matthews in the 09 for Retro Racing Enterprises. All right. Now here's well, actually, no, I'll get to it in a minute. Let me finish with the top stories here. We've also got some developments going on over in the Pizza Hut X series. A couple of new signees. We've got the announcement that Carter Friesen, who was a championship contender in season 1, I should say, in the Taxslayer Truck Series, is now going to be driving for Smart Motorsports over in the Pizza Hut X Series as a rookie in the number 39. Sponsorship is still unknown. Wyatt Quayle will be driving the number 62, replacing William Brock at Full Frontal Motorsports. And also, announcement that who was it? Chloe Erickson is coming back in the 46. I don't think that had been announced prior to last video. Over in the Taxslayer Truck Series, not a lot of development, but some. TJ Handley is now going to be the new driver of the 07 out of Monster Motorsports. Elijah Gordon is going to be driving the 09 for Smart Motorsports. Zach Winkle returns to the number 90 for Flickinger Racing Development. Bobby Frazier is going to be the driver of the number 95 for Gardner Qualls Motorsports. Roger Ray, then driver of the 99 for Smart Motorsports. Marcus Saachi, who was in the Final Four for the championship back in Season 1 in the Taxslayer Truck Series, will be in the 29 for Smart Motorsports. And in terms of teams, Strigley Motorsports is going to be coming back with a 3-car team to the Taxslayer Truck Series with the 2, 11, and 12, formerly driven by Harrison Ponder, Ryan Brommer, and Alexander Rowe. There's also word Alexander Rowe will possibly be coming back to the Pizza Hut Series, a series where he is a former winner, winning the Season 3 finale at Auto Club. At the time, driving for Strigley Motorsports. I believe it's Strigley Motorsports that he might be re-signing with again for this upcoming season. We don't know which car it will be, though. It could be the 12, the 21, the 95, or the 02. We're going to have to wait and see. And it looks like Jake Rogers might also be signing with the team. I don't know for certain. He also could be signing with Smart Motorsports, but I guess there's some stuff going on in the works there as well. Let's see. Send me the link to do the editing thing you use. Yeah, I'll shoot that to you, Michael, in just a moment. Wait till signups for someone to sign up in the 21. You don't have to wait till signups. You know, if you find somebody, you can definitely sign them up. Just as long as you know it's someone's going to be keeping, actually watching the races and everything. Okay. Now let me discuss the schedule real quickly. Something could be coming. I know, because I told it to happen, Michael. That's why it's going to be happening. No, I'm kidding. Okay. Let me show you guys what I've got for the schedule so far. Now, there are still some gaps, but I think that a lot has been done currently that I think is good. So, For those that didn't tune into the last few live streams, especially the last one, we were putting a schedule together. We are downsizing the schedule. We are going to have 15 races in Coors Light Truck Series as opposed to the original 20. Having 20 races for Pizza X as opposed to the original 27. And we are having 25 races in Hershey's Cup as opposed to the original 36. The 10 races that are running for trucks, where they have their off weeks, those 10 slots will run a fourth series, which, no, I have not come up with what it's going to be yet. A lot of suggestions have been thrown out. I have considered them. I haven't arrived at a decision yet. But those 10 slots will be a fourth series at some point in time. But what we've got so far for tracks, we've got Daytona starting out the season. Phoenix is going to be the second weekend for Pizza Hut and Hershey's. We are using the reconfigured Phoenix with the 2018 version, if you will, with the start-finish line at the entrance of the dogleg. I've tested out the Phoenix. The thing is, you can't really get away from a first lap wreck caution, but then when they get single file for restarts, it's usually really good racing. So I think that Phoenix is what we're going to use. I haven't arrived yet at where we're going to go after that. I know Texas is going to be on the schedule here somewhere in this first half, but I haven't decided where yet. But we got Atlanta. That's going to fill in slot 5 here. We've also got Kentucky, and then we've also got the Springfield Mile. So we'll have a dirt track in the first half of the regular season. All-Star Race weekend, which obviously will take place at Charlotte. Then we go to Charlotte for the start of the second half of the regular season for Pizza Hut X and Hershey's. Got a slot here I still got to fill in. We got Bristol Dirt and Thornton in 1 week for trucks and Hershey's. Then we go to Arizona with open roads in the middle. That's going to be the endurance race for the Pizza Hut X drivers, Thornton for the Hershey's drivers. Then we go to Darlington. I haven't decided yet. I almost don't want to, but we might end up having it be throwback week for both Pizza Hut X and Hershey's. It'll definitely be for Hershey's. I don't really want to have to paint cars for Pizza Hut X, but we'll see how it goes. Watkins Glen, Champs-Elysees, Watkins Glen, road course week there. And then Hillside's going to be the race where we're going to decide our chase, which I kind of like because I like that track. Then we go to Vegas for the first week, which I think is a cool twist. I don't remember who it was that suggested it. It was either Gardner, Michael, or Siculi. It was one of those three because they were in the room at the time giving me suggestions. Bristol Dirt, we go to the following week. And then I haven't decided where our first elimination race for Pizza Hut X, or actually, I'm sorry, no, not for Pizza Hut X, for Hershey's Cup's going to be. Then we go to Auto Club, which will be an elimination race. First one for trucks and Pizza Hut X. Auto Club will start the first round of the second, first race of the second round, rather, for Hershey's Cup. Then we go to Talladega. And then Le Mans is going to be the endurance race for the trucks. Following same week, we go to Lime Rock. We go to Boston before there. Boston is actually a track that's very similar. It's banked a little higher, but it's kind of similar to Rockingham, North Carolina. So that might end up being Rockingham, North Carolina's replacement track. I know I wanted to come back to Rockingham, but Boston's just as good. And then I don't have a clue where we're going to go for the third to last and second to last races, weekends of the season. And we're finishing out the year at Homestead because Homestead was a good race. Homestead was a good race leading up to the championship race at Auto Club. So I think it would be a good championship race as well. As long as I keep the same I&I. So that's what the schedule looks like. All right. So let me tell you guys what I've had on my mind here in terms of the upcoming season. Now, for Hershey's Cup Series, this is where it's mostly going to focus. As I looked at the system that I had, heading from Season 6 into Season 7. I thought it was good, where you had the bottom 5 drivers lose their charter. You had the top 5 drivers in Pizza Hut Series. They ended up gaining their charter, etc., etc. The only issue with all of that is I wanted to allow past champions to be able to use championship provisionals. With the system that I had, it didn't allow them to be able to do that. And I'm kind of thinking that what we might end up doing is kind of raising the stakes a little bit. What I mean by raising the stakes is, this is what I'm thinking of what the new system's going to be heading into Season 7. We're going to have it still with the charter system. But by the completion of Season 7, the top 35 drivers will keep their charters. The drivers that are 36, 37, 38, 39th, 40th, 41st, and 42nd would end up losing their charters. That would leave us with a total of 7 drivers that would lose their charters. The top 5 drivers in the Pizza X series, we would change that to it only being the drivers that make the final 4 for the championship at the season finale at Homestead. They would get guaranteed rides into the next round or into the Hershey's Cup series, and then that would leave 3 open spots for past champions to be able to use their championship provisionals to negotiate with other drivers. Because last year, from season 5 to season 6, the championship provisionals definitely came into play. We ended up having, I think it was Tim Walsh got into the field via a championship provisional from Chris Dodd. I think Cody Smart, if I remember correctly, got into the field via. Oh no. Who was the other ones that got in via championship provisional? Oh, Anthony McCurry got in via championship provisional because his charter went to Kyle Keith. We had Kyle Matthews get in via championship provisional because his charter ended up going over to Joshua Collard at the 33 team for Michael Norman Motorsports. So it, allowed some wheeling and dealing to take place. There wasn't a whole lot of wheeling and dealing that went on in this one. I think the only possible exceptions was the 33 team dropping, so that way the charter went to the 02 team to make it into the field next season. And one thing that I like is like in the off season, there's a lot of the wheeling and dealing that goes on. So, and I kind of want to keep that aspect and everything. Plus, it makes it a little bit more interesting as well, in terms of drivers moving up and drivers possibly moving out. So, I think that the system, I haven't made this official yet. I'm going to think on it until we get to the start of the season. But my main thought is we're going to have the top 35 at the end of the season keep their charter. Bottom 7 would lose their charters. The final 4 in Pizza Hut X series would get an automatic ticket into the Hershey's Cup series, and then the championship provisionals could come into play for the final 3 slots. That's basically where I'm currently at in terms of what I'm thinking. Plus, when you think about it too, it'll make it easier for drivers to figure out, who's in danger, who's not in danger, etc. So, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna shoot Michael a link in just a bit. Michael, I don't remember what the password is to be able to have the complete version and not have to uninstall it, reinstall it. So I apologize for that. You're gonna get a trial version where I think you're able to use it 5 times. Then you have to uninstall it, reinstall it again. But also, Carter, I will get you that Phoenix track at some point today. Okay, so now I wanted to take the opportunity here. I didn't get much of a chance before because the announcement was made right at the tail end of the video, and so I didn't get much of a chance to talk in depth about it. But I wanted to talk about the announcement of Chris Dodd announcing that CJ Racing is going to be closing up at the end of Season 7. A lot of people were really shocked about that and everything. I had already been given a little bit of a tip-off by Chris that this was going to be something that was possibly going to be happening. I think I had heard that he was going to be retiring as a driver. I didn't know about that the team itself was going to be closing up. But here's the thing, okay? I understand where Chris is coming from. I mean, when you get older, like I'm at this stage, it gets to the point where Enter 2003 takes a little bit of a back burner in terms of priorities. That's a big reason why whenever I get an opportunity to record races, like if I have like a slot of 4 hours to be able to record some races or something, I usually will record back to back to back to back. Usually try and record a whole weekend with the 3 series or something. The reason being is because Enter 2003 has to take a back burner to stuff like college, life, family, all that kind of stuff. And so when I have all of those races done, edited, uploaded, ready to go, I can just unlist them and, then go on with my day. Uh, and that's a thing that has happened in the span of the 7 years that I've been on YouTube. The priorities change. Used to be, oh, I got to get this video done. I got to get rendered. Got to get uploaded. Now it's basically I will record the races. I'll edit them, render them while I'm doing schoolwork, and then I'll be doing something with my folks. There'll be like a brief moment where I'm like, oh well, I can just one click. It's public. There's you guys' race. Go back off and do my thing. So things change, plans change, priorities change, and there's nothing wrong with that. I will tell you this, that a lot of people that I race with online do not remember the fact that it is literally a game that is 15 years old. They treat it like it's a life problem, like they've actually been in a car accident and they need to sue the other person for their insurance and everything. It's the wrong mentality to have, but it happens. People not able to discern what is virtual from reality. And with that being said, with the announcement that Chris Dodd made, I completely understand. You've got to take and separate the virtual from the reality. There's nothing wrong with enjoying the virtual. You can have fun with it just as long as you realize that it's not actually something that, and the most part, is going to impact your life in the future, kind of like algebra. Anyway, so with Chris Dodd's announcement, I'm disappointed because Chris has been in my series for a long, long time. He started, I believe, back, I want to say season 2 of Hershey's Cup series is how long he's been around. Exactly, kind of like chemistry. I actually only took chemistry once. I am 26, going to be 27 in August. To answer your question, but with the fact that he is going to be closing up his team and moving on, I don't have a problem with that. And I understand why he's having to do that. And I think a big reason, too, why he's, closing up the team is he's just not going to have the time to be able to devote to being a team owner, looking and seeing who's doing well, who's not doing well, keeping up with it on Facebook, keeping up with it on Discord when it gets to off season, signing drivers, figuring out sponsorships, all that kind of stuff, which is completely understandable. I just do not have an issue with that. But I am obviously sad to see him leave the community, or well, not the community, but at least leave the series and everything. Hopefully he'll, maybe sign up for one-off races in some capacity or something like that. But it's getting to that point. There have been some great guys that I've had in my series that have been in the channel for a long time that, life got in the way. They had to go off and do something. Sean Henley, prime example. Used to be a member here at Nnscra, but life, college got in the way. He had to do other things. There are other people that are out there right now that haven't really put out races yet because either they've lost the motivation or life is taking a priority. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, Poteet, Trent Dunham, Sean Galligan, all these guys, that used to be around when I was doing stuff. We used to be like the core people of Enter 2003. At least I thought we were. There were probably other Enter 2003 leagues out there, but we were like a niche, and the priorities change. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The only reason why I'm still doing these races and everything, people are probably wondering, you're 27 years old. Isn't life getting in the way? Why are you still doing this? The reason is, I've said, I'll stop doing Enter 2003 races when I stop enjoying them. There's nothing wrong with doing it when you enjoy what you're doing. And so, as long as I keep enjoying doing it and you guys still enjoy watching it, it's, I'm going to keep putting out races for you guys. Ever since before I even got into 2003, when I used to, I think it was like back 2002, 2003, when I first started actually collecting diecast, I used to get the John Andretti, Richard Petty cars you'd get out of the General Mills cereal boxes. I used to actually pretend that those cars were a race, and I would commentate them. I've enjoyed commentating from a long time ago, and then when I ended up discovering in 2003, the commentary continued. I actually, I don't know if many people know this, but I actually used to commentate before in 2003. I used to actually commentate races on the game NASCAR Racing 3, which you could not in any way, shape, or form manipulate those cars to have a good race. Basically, it's wherever you started that race is where you finished that race. If you started on pole, you had a 99.9% chance of winning that race. But, I was able to find like a car set for that, a custom car set, and all that kind of stuff. That's where I actually started recording, a virtual racing game, but it was nothing realistic like you can do with Enter 2003. But then when I ended up getting to Enter 2003, it just continued on from there. So, I've always enjoyed doing commentary, not only just in NASCAR related stuff, but, anything sports related. So, with that being said, in the fact that it still is an enjoying thing to do, I still like doing it, and I'm still motivated to do it, is why it's still going on here on this channel. You know, I'm not saying that a month or two down the road, I may end up losing the uh, enjoyment of it and deciding, you know what, guys, I'm going to take a break. I don't know. I think a big reason why this channel turned into not only a racing but also a gaming channel was to kind of break it up, so that way I don't get snowed under with just Enter 2003 stuff. There's diversity, and able to be more than just a one-trick pony. Otherwise, who knows? Maybe just doing back-to-back races and not having a little break in between of doing something, maybe that would have ended up getting under my skin, having me quit earlier. Another thing too that's kind of changed as well is my mentality on how I approach these things, and a lot of that has translated over to Enter 2003 online. I can tell you guys that right now, the current season that I'm doing, season 7 of Icebreakers Online series, has gone a lot better than season 6 was. Season 6 was a nightmare. Big reason was I was trying too much to please everybody. And when you try to please one person, you end up ticking off another person. When you try to please that person, you tick off the original person. Now I've basically gone into this season with, I'm making the rules. This is how it goes down. If you don't like it, you don't have to show up. If you don't like it and you want to voice your opinion, I'll listen to you. I may not answer you. I may answer you. It all depends. But, the mentality of this is where I stand and you can like it or not like it. So, that's how it's kind of been in terms of offline as well. Is I was always trying to cater to this person, cater to that person, and so I ended up putting in 3 divisions in Hershey's Cup Series. I ended up putting in a non-charter series or I'm sorry, that was Snickers Cup Series rather, with the 3 divisions. I put in a non-charter series with Hershey's Cup Series. Now I basically am like, okay, I've got this in front of me. This works for me. I'm going to do this. People can, agree with it, disagree with it, but ultimately the decision lies with me. Big thing right there, cutting down the season to 25 races for Hershey's Cup Series. 36 was just too much with running 3 series. So cutting down the schedule, I think, is going to make it a lot easier on me in terms of the workload I've got to do in order to put these races together. And throwing in a 4th series isn't going to really mess that up that much. I don't really think it's going to mess that up that much. But, ultimately, 25 races sounds a lot less daunting than having to do 36 races. And like I brought up the point too, I think that the system is going to be a lot better as well in the terms of drivers that have a consistent season are going to have more of an opportunity to get into the races as well, because the likelihood that we're going to have 15 different race winners is very unlikely. And so we're probably going to have like 3, 4, maybe 5 drivers get into the race or into the chase via points. So I actually think that that's the best way to go with cutting the schedule down and everything, and it's going to make it a little bit easier on me. Not saying that I'm trying to be lazy, but I'm trying to make things where I don't feel like I'm snowed under with Enter 2003 stuff. So that way the enjoyment's still there and the races still keep coming out for you guys. What about a K&N East and West series of 5 races each for that 10 race series? I mean, that actually is something that has been brought up. I think the three main things that have been brought up to me as far as series go of running for that fourth series, K&N East and West is one. Another one has been dirt modified series, and another one has been an ARCA series using the BR Gen 6 or BR Gen 15. They apparently came out with a ARCA mod version of that, I guess. I don't know if it was for this year or if it was for last year, but I've had all those different suggestions. The big thing for me is that I have to look at in terms of the series that I choose to do is what kinds of tracks are available and how big of a field those tracks can hold. Because if you think about it, you look at ARCA, you look at K&N West, you look at modifieds, you're looking at short tracks. Short tracks, some of them fit 42, but the vast majority will hold somewhere between 20 maximum to maybe 34 maximum. And so we're looking at a possibility that this fourth series is not going to be able to hold a 42 car field. It may end up having to only hold 30 cars or something like that. So while I really would like to be able to have it be a 42 car field, so that way drivers that aren't able to get into the three main series, they do have an opportunity to be able to get into a particular series. So I have to look in terms not only of the mod, but also of the tracks that would be available to make the series seem realistic in terms of where they would end up being at and be able to fit a larger field rather than a smaller field. So that's one of the things that I have to look at in terms of what kind of a schedule I would put together and what kind of a series I would run with said schedule. And races on small local tracks, a full blown finish where you start racing. Yeah, I mean, I hear you, Andrew. I understand, but I don't know if you would end up having it where it would end up fitting 42 cars. That's just the whole thing. Another one that I've been throwing around in my head is possibly doing either rally racing with rally car mod or super stadium trucks. But with super stadium trucks, there are a couple of tracks that I don't know if I'd be able to actually get edited correctly for the INI to work. But I don't know. So that's basically where I'm at in terms of not only the mentality of the channel, but also the mentality of what the Hershey's Cup series would be like and everything. Other thing that I was going to quickly bring up as well is a lot of people have been asking me when I'm going to be starting back up. I don't know yet. Like I said, Hershey's Cup is basically, I've already figured out in terms of the field. I've got most of the cars painted. The only cars that I'm currently waiting on right now at this moment in time are Cole Baker's 18. Apparently, he's painting that. I'm going to need to get that from him. I'm also waiting on Kyle Keith's 29. I saw it was painted. I haven't been sent it yet. I got to find out if he's going to get it to me or not. Dylan Pote, James McLeod apparently are both painting their own cars. I'm waiting on those. Shane Lake hasn't told me what he's looking for in a paint scheme or anything, so I don't know what the 55 team's doing. Keith Batson has shown me some cars he's doing, but I haven't been sent those either. And I think there was one other driver that's doing their own car, and I haven't been sent it. Oh no, I have been sent the information. I just haven't painted it yet. I've been sent the information for Jordan Anderson's 89. So I mean, for the most part, though, most of the cars are done, and also secondaries are done and all that. So I'm just basically waiting on like 6 or 7 people to send me their race cars, and that season will be all set to go. Pizza Hut X Series, on the other hand, a lot of the cars have been painted, but obviously there's some seats that still need to be filled and all that. There's still some sponsorship things that need to be out of the way, and then Truck Series, obviously, you guys can see the Facebook pin post to see who's signed for what and all that kind of stuff. So, it's all coming together for sure. but I don't. With that being said, don't know if we're going to um, be having the what's the word I'm looking for? Having the official start date of when we're going to be having it all happen. So obviously, I'd like to be able to get it started sometime by June, but I don't think that at the start of June. But I don't think that's going to be the case. Maybe like the first week of June, second week of June, something like that. I don't know. Did TJ send the car? No, he didn't send the car. He's posted pictures of the car, but he has not sent the car yet. I have seen his pictures of it though. So I'm just waiting on that. Be a surprise news for the Hershey's Cup Series based on your team. Okay, I'm just gonna say if it is sponsorship news, if you could post it as soon as possible, so that way I can have it all set to go and all that. I do know that there's 2 cars that I have to paint this week before Wednesday. Wednesday we're running our first elimination race for Icebreakers Online series at Talladega, and so that's gonna be fun. But I mean, yeah, usually when I'm painting race cars, the sooner I get the requests, etc., or anything like that, the better. Otherwise, I will tend to forget. Okay, so won't be sponsorships. Okay, 10-4. All right, so I don't really have anything else in terms of news, really. Oh, I wanted to clear one thing up as well on here. A lot of people have asked me why Chris Dollarton's in the 83 for Hershey's Cup Series and Emmanuel Hartnett is not, why he's in the 20. The reason is Chris Dollarton has been a part of this channel ever since, what was it, season 3 or season 4, back when I was doing the Oreo Truck Series, Mobile One Cup Series, and Hershey's Cup Series. And his number has always pretty much been associated with 83 when it comes to Cup. Hartnett, on the other hand, I've raced with him online a lot, and he is associated with 2 different numbers, 83 and 20. And so what I did was move Dollarton to the 83, since that's the number he's most associated with, and just moved Hartnett to a number he's associated with as well, in the number 20. So, that's why I made that decision to swap the numbers that way. Hopefully Emmanuel's fine with it. But from what I've seen, I haven't really seen Emmanuel keeping up with the races anyway. So I don't know. It starts with the letter R. Okay. No idea what that's supposed to mean, but okay. Anyway, though, that's going to do it here for this stream. I don't know when the next Hot Stove Talk show is going to be coming out. Maybe what we'll do is I'll get some guests on. We'll talk about some of what the teams look like going into next season and how they'll do, project from this past season on the next season or something. Have it be more like a talk show, really. But I don't know when that's going to be yet. So, anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in here. Retirement. Oh, Lord. I didn't even think of that. Retirement. Oh, boy. But anyway, that's going to do it. We will see you guys whenever this comes out next time. Yeah, Andrew, see you tonight. We're racing Dover for turn. Woo! One of my favorite tracks. Yay. So, like I said, whenever this next stream comes out, be sure to tune in. I just finished recording the commentary over the Indy Lights 250, Indianapolis 500. I'm going to record today without commentary. I don't know yet when I'm going to do the commentary on it, but I will keep you guys posted. I wasn't able to get any guest commentators for the Indy Lights 250. A couple of people popped into TeamSpeak after I'd already started recording, so I wasn't really able to have any guest commentators, unfortunately. Hopefully, I'll be able to set up a time that works for people for the Indy 500. I'm going to have to look at my schedule, see when it's a good slot maybe to do in the afternoon. But the Indy Lights 250, I will probably edit and everything. I still got to make a starting grid. I'm not planning, though, on having Indy 250 uploading on public until I've got the Indy 500 recorded as well because they're going to be done on the same day, just one a little bit earlier than the other. So you'll see it when it happens. But other than that, I got some gaming videos that'll be coming out here, some more Trouble in Terrace Town for you guys, and then probably I'll record whatever we do for gaming this Wednesday night. If you guys want to join us for gaming Wednesday nights, if you got nothing to do, Wednesday nights usually starting around 9:30. That's usually when the league race ends. We end up having that won't stop you, Michael. Yeah, hack my channel. We end up usually having gaming night. It varies anywhere from sometimes we do poker, sometimes we do draw my thing, sometimes we do Town of Salem, sometimes we do Cards Against Humanity, sometimes we hop onto Gary's Mod. It really all depends on what people want to do. Sometimes we do golf with friends. If you want to join us, let me know. Shoot me a message on Facebook or something. Say, hey, I'm interested in joining you guys for gaming night. All you have to do is download TeamSpeak and hop in around 9:30 and join us for some fun. But that's basically gonna do it. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time for whenever the next stream comes out. I'm going to go now and do schoolwork. Yay! Till then, bye.